Thanks for staying with us. The Department of Basic Education is getting ready to announce the National Senior Certificate Examination results this evening. ENCA's Govan Whittles joins us from Midrand. He's tracking that story for us. Govan, thank you so much for talking to us once again. The wait is nearly over for the class of 2018, but those around you, I know that during this time, there's a lot of union representatives that gather around Midrand to talk about the results and to dissect them. Are they as optimistic?
Well, they certainly are, Bongiwe. The unions are gathered here to obviously get that technical briefing from the Department of Education about the 2018 National Senior Certificate results. And one of the biggest unions is SATU, the South African Democratic Teachers Union, which has been working closely with the department over the years to try and implement some of the interventions to improve that overall pass rate for the year. So they haven't gone into that technical briefing as yet, but there are a number of issues to discuss. First among them, of course, being the expectations of the unions of the matric results this year, whether or not they think that number is going to increase, there'll be an increase in the overall pass rate or a decrease. But for more on that, I am joined by the Deputy General Secretary of SATU, Mr. Nkosana Dolopi, just to talk to us a little bit more about what is expected. It's been a peaceful year as far as teachers and pupils have gone, especially regarding the National Senior Certificate, but after everything, what do you expect to see in those results?
Very peaceful, a very stable year. We did not have many disruptions, except for maybe a few community uprisings here and there. But generally, I don't think they disturbed the entire system of schooling. So because of that, I think we're expecting good results, good outcomes, because we feel like our teachers were hard at work, learners were dedicated, they were committed to their work. We have seen them putting in extra hours, working during weekends, working during school holidays. We've even seen them, some of them camping at schools from September up to now. So I think we're expecting good results with that kind of environment.
I think one of the most topical issues whenever the matric results are released is the standardization of some of the marks. This is a process which is done across the world, but what would SATU's attitude be going into that technical briefing regarding the standardization of marks?
Look, for now, I wouldn't want to preempt. Let us wait to receive the technical report. We'll then get a better sense of the real facts around that. But like you just said, it's an international kind of norm. It's applied throughout the world. So we will be waiting to get to know the extent of the standardization, how it affected the results of the learners. Remember that standardization at times is upward and downwards. It's both good and bad in some instances for both the learners and for the system. So like I'm saying, it's an international accepted norm. It's applied throughout the world, but we are just interested about the extent in which this whole question of standardization was applied during this time of the examinations.
And looking back at the 2018 school year, particularly for teachers of matric pupils, are there any highlights or lowlights that come to mind in the preparation of these pupils toward the exams?
Look, we are satisfied about the preparations, but there's one thing that we want to emphasize, is that preparations for matric does not start in 2018, did not start in 2018. We started to prepare these learners from grade R almost 13, 12 years ago. So that's why when we appreciate the good work of all teachers, we start from grade R. We thank all those teachers who have contributed to prepare these learners for 2018. We are satisfied that teachers have done well from grade R up to grade 12. Even during this year of grade 12, we are satisfied that teachers were really dedicated, they were committed to supporting these learners throughout. Like I said earlier, they spend extra hours, after school hours. Some of them spent hours during Saturdays with these learners. Some of them went to camps when schools were closed. Some of them camped and slept over with these learners in some schools, as you would have seen in Limpopo. So we are satisfied that our teachers did well, and I think we will be able to get the kind of good results that we're expecting this evening.
Yeah, you're referring to those interventions with the department, teachers sleeping over and doing the extra classes. But as much as we're celebrating or reflecting on the 2018 school year, the 2019 school year is just about to start. What are the most important things to get right this year?
Look, we're expecting, firstly, to welcome back all our teachers. We hope they rested well, though the holidays were very short. for them, but we think they rested well. They will be ready when the schools reopen next year. So we're expecting it will be all systems go in terms of the provision of early learning and teaching support material for teachers on time when the schools reopen. We would not want to see a situation when the schools reopen that some schools will not be having some of this learning and teaching support material. But at the very same time, we would want to see a situation whereby each and every class has a teacher. We would want to see every class, all learners having a teacher in front of them. That's why we want to urge the Department of Education that we start early this time, try to avoid any disruption and make sure that each and every classroom has a teacher. Appoint teachers on time. When we reopen, when we start on Monday, when the learners come back on Wednesday, they should get teachers waiting for them to welcome them and receive them and let learning then start on the first day. That can only happen if everything that's needed at school is provided to on time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nkosana Dolopi, the Deputy General Secretary of SADTU. Well, he's cautiously optimistic ahead of the release of those results, the National Senior Certificate results, later on this evening in Midrand at Vodaworld. Bongiwe.
Thank you so much, Govan. That was our reporter, Govan Whittles, who is tracking that matric results story that, is developing in Midrand. But of course, there is that all-important technical briefing that is set to take place at 4 o'clock. And it's not only about the pass rate, but it is also about how well or how badly the class of matric 2018 did, and to see which subjects were adjusted upwards and which subjects were not adjusted, and to also get a sense of whether or not the education system is indeed improving or not. Well,